Hi guys, and welcome to Road to Forex, where we discuss everything in relation to the foreign exchange. Of course, I am your host Alex. Without further ado, let's get stuck into today's episode. What if I told you that I've been consistently hitting 5% weeks for the last 6 months, without taking dozens of trades, without chasing pumps, without using multiple strategies, just looking at one? Now, this isn't a flex, it's just the truth. And it's something that I want to share with you guys because you can emulate this success. Now, I do want to point out it is all thanks to my new crypto strategy, and you can join that by joining our free Discord. Click the link below and following the instructions there. And I know what you're thinking, he's talking about it again, he's salesy. Or maybe that's just myself. I have a big amount of imposter syndrome, and I feel that even though I've got all this data to back it up, that you guys are going to resent me for putting it out there and saying, hey, I've got something here that I want to share. But I'm not doing this just to drive up sales. It is because that even in 2 years, the stuff that I have to say now is still going to be valid. And why do I know that? Because the podcast episodes that I did put out 2 years ago are still getting listened to today. I still have students that are on episode 60 going, wow, I love this sort of stuff. And that's why I'm bringing it out. So yes, you can be a part of it. Yes, you can emulate that success that I've had. But I also want to bring it out there that's saying you don't need to be involved with it directly, and you can still learn a lot of stuff through here. So in this episode, that's exactly what I want to talk about, how it works, why it's performing, and why this type of slow, clean, structured trading might be exactly what you have been missing. Now, before we get into the main part of it, please, again, review me on Spotify, Apple Music. It really, really does help me out. Okay, let's move on from here. So we want to be looking at, number one, why most traders miss the real opportunity in trading as a whole. Not just crypto, not just futures, not just Forex. Because trading is noisy. You can have many, many currency pairs, indices, commodities, coins that pump massively in a day, that have at least 5 days a week, 24/5 markets that just keep on going. And there's Discords across the globe that are full of hype and FOMO and YouTube videos and Instagram and all that stuff. Most traders get pulled into that chaos and they think they need to trade constantly, be early on every move, take 10 trades to get one massive win, whatever it is, or take 10 trades every single day in order to be profitable. Because if you don't take them all, then you're gone. And that is true for some strategies. But I don't think it's necessarily sustainable for everyone. Not for most traders. It's not profitable because the majority of you guys are all working 9 to 5s. So much like how I created the Starlight when I was working in 9 to 5, I didn't chase momentum with this one. I started building a system that I could effectively do to keep me or my hands not as busy whilst I traded everything else. See, I love scalping on the futures side of things because it's fun and I get to watch it and I get to be involved. And I love Starlight because it's my bread and butter. It's always been there and it's so easy. But this crypto is probably the easiest thing I've ever done, to the point where I don't even really like showing traders that have been trading for a number of years, because they look at it and everyone says the same thing. It's so easy. But as I've said to everyone in this game, who says it needs to be hard? Who? Because we lose all the time. 90% of us lose. We don't make any money. Therefore, the answer is locked behind 100 million different questions, and you've got to have these indicators doing these things at this point in time, doing this stuff. And then you look at some people who are trading and you go, oh, their theory is actually pretty damn simple. Even Warren Buffett, with what he does, he's not out there making 100% returns a day. He's famous for going, most people want to get rich quickly, but not a lot of people want to get rich slow. He's looking at small incremental gains over a long period of time. And most of us can do that. It just happens that this particular one fits both those models. Very little trades, yet you can smash it out. So what is the secret to success there? What is it? Well, I just focused on three coins in this case, and it could be three pairs for you or three commodities or whatever it is, and one time frame. And I just looked for a strategy on the 30 minutes because I knew probably going to get maybe 6 or 7 trades. That's too much, right? I knew I would be able to whittle it down. I only wanted to hop in twice, maybe 3 times a week. That's it. I didn't want to have a guessing strategy. And in fact, I wanted to set something up that had sell and buy limits that did take a very long time for me to hop in because I wanted something where I was just in trades. I was just setting them up. I could look at the charts, I could have fun setting them up, and then I can just set and I can just forget. I don't have to be there. And in the mornings, usually for me, because I'm in Australia and the crypto markets are most active during New York time, I'd wake up and the trade would just be done. Didn't even look at it. And that was so amazing for me because even though these trades take up such a long period of time, their execution is actually really quick. From the time that you enter into the time that you get out, it could have been half an hour. It might only be an hour. Sometimes it's more, yes, especially if you're going for longer ones. But I didn't want the chance to really be able to get into something where I can get my mitts on a trade. I wanted to stay away from it. And that's not sexy. It's not exciting, but it just works. And that's what I would be saying to you guys, especially those of you that are wanting to start off out there. Just focus on a very few number of pairs. Now, I know I've talked about it in the past. Hey, you can focus on every single pair. If you want to maximize profit, you should be doing that. If you want to maximize the amount that you can get into, yeah, you should. But I may have stumbled just on a strategy that just kicks ass because 38%, I finished the year at 40%, and we're 4 months into the year, excluding December and November that we trade, so that's 6 months altogether. And yeah, 38%. It's absolutely crazy. And that's on average taking 2 to 4 trades per week, just sitting back and relaxing. You know, it's not just a pick and level and hope sort of deal. It's structured. And that's what you really need to do. When you're hopping in and you're making something like this, you need to know every single thing that you want from a strategy, because that's what a lot of people get wrong. They look at this, they hop in, they try and make a strategy, but they don't know what they want, or they see a little bit of profit and they look back and they go, yeah, I'm going to change this. I only wanted to hop in 5 times a week, but this one here, I've got 1 trade per week, but it's really good and I get a 75% win rate. And you know what happens? Because you never actually set your expectations and your intent and what you want, then your fingers start to do silly things or your emotions start to do silly things. Or you could be looking at the opposite. I get stressed out when I hop into a lot of trades. Not me personally, maybe you. And then you hop at something and you want to look at the market. You go, well, I only want 3 or 4 trades per week or 1 trade per day. That's fine with me. But now you're hopping in 2, 3, 4 times a day. You know, it's just not right. You should be looking at yourself, understanding where your stress comes from and going, all right, I suck when I'm looking at the charts all the time because I do X, Y, and Z. So I know that I need to have a strategy that has enough just to keep me satisfied, but not that I'm going in all the time. And hey, maybe if you focus on 2 or 3 pairs, you'll get enough. Maybe like Starlight, you can't because it's so little with the amount of trades that you get, right? There you have to go in for it more. But that's what I want you to be looking at. And if you've got a job, if you've got a 9 to 5 and you genuinely are really busy, then you should just be looking at buy and sell limit strategies. That's what you should be looking for. Or strategies, again, like the Starlight, where you hop in and it might not take off straight away. You might have 3, 4, 5 hours in order to hop in. That's what you want to be looking. Slow strategies in either way that you can slow to go off and hit and prepare, like the crypto strategy I've got, once you set a sell limit, for example, usually waiting 8 hours plus for the strategy to execute and fill its order. Or like the Starlight, you get an alert and you got to look at it, but it might hang around entry for 4 or 5 hours, something along those lines. So that is what you want there. And you really want to look at maybe getting some lessons in some sort of form and capacity and get a basic understanding of either smart money concepts or price action and just stick to it. That is what I want from you guys here. Because if you look at any of these ones, you'll go, oh, yeah, that's smart money. Oh, yeah, that's price action. I understand where this is coming from. Because that is where you're going to get your results. It's that basal knowledge that you have. You back yourself into one particular part and you go for it. This is what I did with the crypto one. I went, I've already got my price action. I've got 2 of them over here. I haven't done smart money in so long. It's really easy, and I know it can take for smart money quite a long time for trades to be placed. And that's what happened. Then all of a sudden, I've got clients messaging me going, geez, I'm up 5% from this week just from those 2 trades. I've never had results this consistent. Even another one the other week, it said, I've stopped overtrading completely. I just wait for your call, look at the setup, and now I understand how that structure actually works. Because once you've got that basal knowledge, and you don't have to dive in massively, you really don't. It's just basal knowledge. And you just apply it to the charts. It doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't have to be the most ridiculous thing. You want to know what's behind my crypto strategy? Order blocks. That's it. Order blocks. One thing is behind my strategy. We don't use any indicators, not a single one. Not a single one, not a single indicator, and just using order blocks. Setting buy and sell limits, 38% in basically 6 months. So what you need to do from there is, and we'll number this down now, apply this mindset even if you're not in the group. Again, you can join it. It is free. The link is in the description. Cut your trade volume. Pick 1 to 2 setups max per week, maybe per day if you really have to get into trades, and go deep on them. Stop spraying and praying. You really want to do that. And if you are one of those people that, just can't help touch it, you really need a mentor, or you need to, again, to join the free Discord group and get in those accountability hubs so you can use the community to your advantage. Here's number 2. Here's the important thing. Use one time frame. No more jumping from 1 minute to 1 hour to 4 hour to daily, top-down analysis, bottom-up analysis. You stick on one, you stay with it, focus on that analysis with your core key principle behind it, and you do not divert. You do not add anything else in. You make what you have as close to perfect as you can, and then from there, if you do need to add another thing in, go ahead and do it, and then you might be able to refine it from there as well. Course number 3, you want to track every trade in a simple sheet. Remove the guesswork. You need to see your edge in numbers. And 4, let your winners breathe. If a 5% week isn't built off 20 pips, then it's not built off 20 pips. What do I mean by that? If you need to go for more and your risk to reward is 30 pips because you've got a set stop loss, then you need to hit it. Let those winners achieve their ends. A strategy is built off patience. If you can apply those 4 things, even with your current system, you will see a large improvement. So the big takeaway is that you do not need more setups. You need more trust in clean ones. This crypto strategy that I have proves it. It's not magic. There's actually nothing special about it whatsoever. It's just consistent. And I just play to the edge. If I've got guys that are sitting here that have never really traded and are going, hey, I'm up 19%, hey, I'm up 20%, hey, I've made $19,000 in 6 months, I'm getting another account, I'm copying that, so it would be $38,000, something around that mark. That's absolutely crazy. People are replacing their income with this with 2 accounts for the year in 6 months. Absolutely nuts. And it's just off leaving the chaos behind, bringing everything back to the basics, and it's only going to get better. If this episode gave you a new lens on how profitable trading or slow trading can be, well, then share it with others. Follow the podcast on Spotify and Apple Music, again, review it. And that is it from me, guys. I will see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.